Hello, this is Mark Keene from Keene Engineering. We're out here testing our brand new 210 series large dry washer. We've been in the process of developing the machine for about 6 months now, and we've been making some progress, but we've really gotten very close this last test we made. So the machine has gone through some major changes, complete new engineering designs, and we're really happy with our recent success. As well as developing the dry washer, we had a couple friends, Bob and Barry, who have developed a brand new conveyor belt system. The unique thing about this conveyor system is that it's super light and super portable. 2, 3 men were able to pull this out of the back of the truck, carry it over to the machine, set it up, and we were able to go to work. One of the major changes we made in this dry washer, we completely isolated the vibratory hopper from the machine itself. And you can see here the hopper working, and we're talking some serious powerful vibration. As you can see here, is the machine's mounted on springs with like a 3/4 horsepower electric motor powering a very powerful vibrator that really helps bounce that screen. And you can tell even clay, conglomerate material, when it hits that screen, it just breaks up on contact and it just keeps the material moving. The new 210 dry washer is currently powered by 2 custom blowers that we've designed that are extremely efficient and extremely powerful. In this picture here, you can actually see the separation of both the bottom hopper and the top hopper. So the lower main body of the dry washer has its own independent vibrator that is fully adjustable, and the top hopper has its own vibrator that is also fully adjustable. This shot shows you the 2 blowers, and you see a small generator operating in the background. Now the generator runs the conveyor belt and the 2 vibrators. At one point we had about 4 to 5 guys shoving into the machine and had no trouble handling all we could feed it. I would just make some rough estimates at this point. We were probably handling somewhere between 3 and 4 tons an hour. It could have handled more, but the ground was just too difficult to shovel into. But the conveyor fed it, the hopper fed it, the riffle seemed to handle it, so we are really pleased with the performance so far. You'll notice here the material is being forced straight down into the dirt. Now the interesting thing about it, the dust doesn't go anywhere. It hits the dirt, and the dirt is what? It is a ground. The earth is a ground. So all these supercharged particles are coming straight down. They hit the dirt, which is a ground, and they stick. Now here's another shot with the machine wide open, and you can see it's just putting out clouds of dust. Big difference. With the door open, within about 5 minutes there was about a 10-foot cloud around the machine. You could hardly see it. And I've had some customers ask, why do we put so much effort into this enclosed design? And this is a perfect example of why we're putting so much effort, so much energy to build a machine that puts out less dust. Because we want to build not only the best recovery, not only the best high performance dry washer, we want to create something that's extremely environmentally friendly. You know, in this day and age, we all have to do our part to keep the environment as clean as possible, and having a machine that doesn't create clouds of dust. Not only is a low dust machine good for the environment, it's also easier on your engines, your generators, and let's not forget about the all-important operator. Look how well that vibratory hopper is working. You're getting zero sand over the edge of it. It's breaking the material up. It's just really impressive. And the conveyor is so nice to be able to feed the machine, you know, at just the right location on the hopper. It's just such a cool experience to be out there working with all this nice equipment. So this shows you what's inside the dry washer. You've got 2 large riffle boards. They're roughly 3.5 feet long by about 18 inches wide. That's a lot of surface area for a dry washer, and that's part of the reason we can handle so much material. In these shots, you get a general idea of what it's supposed to look like. You can see the riffles. It kind of flows like a ripple of water over it. We still have a little bit of work to do on some little stronger vibration in the riffle board and a few other what I would call balancing the airflow to make sure the airflow is more consistent all the way around. But overall, the riffles were working very well. You could put your finger right down to the bottom. There was no resistance. Everything's dancing nicely in the riffle boards.
A little more vibration. A little more vibration too. It's too dusty with that door open. It's better with the door closed. Way different.
I was kind of looking through these trays. I'm finding a lot of black sand in the trays, a lot of heavy concentrations. When we first started working it, we were finding a lot more granular rock, not as much fine material. That's probably from too much CFM coming up from the bottom of the board. We're going to still work on creating some more dead airspace and kind of diffuse the air, because we get like certain areas in it where we're getting a little bit more air than we should. I think once we balance the flow of air throughout the entire box, it's going to perform even better. But you know, we started from hanging the box to suspending it on the whole box on springs, which is a much better idea. A lot more vibration, and also throughout this box we're getting a lot more uniform stratification going through each different riffle as it comes down. The static electrical charge, we still have to work on building that back up, since we're not using these special static belts to create this electrostatic charge. But we got some ideas that we're working on that, and we're looking forward to just a couple more changes, and hopefully we have it all figured out, and hopefully that'll be a real winner. I'm going to pull out the trays right now. Got a couple of clips that you have to get loose. Everything's always a little more tough when you got dirt and material in it. Okay, we're going to pull this tray out. The nice thing is you don't have to really sweep out the tray. They pull out pretty easy. And you see this? It kind of hinges right over, which makes it a lot easier. So we're going to pop this tray out now. When I pulled the tray out, I was really surprised on how heavy it is. The tray itself weighs about 5 pounds, but with all the concentrates in there, you probably have about 15 pounds worth of value. I'm looking through the material here, and I'm looking at a real good concentration of black sand, a lot of real heavy stuff. This is a pretty awesome canyon in here, in an undisclosed area, but we're on a friend's private property, and we thought we'd bring this machine up here and try it. And so far, everything that we've done, it's progressively gotten better and better. You know, we started hanging the box, and we went to the springs. We went to 5 different vibrator mechanisms, and I think we got a real winner. I'm really excited about it. We're finally getting to the point where we wanted to be with this machine. Throughout the development of building a piece of machinery, you go through the trials and tribulations of making constant changes and pushing the envelope, and trying to build a better mousetrap, but also trying to achieve the recovery. I'm going to dump the materials out now. Yeah, I'm real happy about how the riffle board is concentrating the material. When I first started seeing the large granular rock, I was wondering that maybe we had too much airflow, but as soon as I moved that stuff away, I noticed that a lot of the material got to be super fine black sand, and that's what we were trying to achieve. Looks like the concentrations are good. And you know what? This
Pat, go ahead and tap like you were before.
Okay, this unknown canyon here, that we're on someone else's private property, it might prove to be a real good spot to try in the future.
Maybe. But I'll tell you, I was worried about when I saw just the granular rock.
Yeah.
But it's looking good now.
Because the first time when we had too much airflow.
Hey Barry, how does this compare to last time when you went out and tried the riffle board?
The gamut of material is much better. Before we were getting a higher concentration of this size rock.
Okay.
And no fines.
And less fines. Now we're picking up a good overall base of material.
All right, this is the riffle board we're using. It's actually kind of interesting. It's got 3 different layers in it. You've got you got your aluminum riffle, which keeps it nice and lightweight, so you get good vibration. And then we take a layer of a silkscreen cloth, and it actually is silkscreen, the same type of material you'd make t-shirts out of. And then underneath that, we use a Buna rubber, very similar to like a toolbox liner, but this stuff works really nice. It helps generate and store a lot of static electricity. And this is our backing, which is a Lexan plate or polycarbonate. And this is nice because it actually stores the static electricity. It also does something else. If you can notice here, every one of these widths here is slightly different. We have a wide opening, then a narrow, a wide, then a narrow. And what that does is it creates a dead air space. In other words, on the riffle, if the riffle comes up like this, sometimes we have a very small dead air space, sometimes we have a very large dead air space. And what it does, when the fine gold comes down and gets trapped in the riffle board, it tends to stay a little bit calmer. It doesn't get blown out as easy. So this Lexan plate here really makes the ideal dead air space. And what else is kind of cool is when the air comes underneath this, the air still slips underneath this just a little bit. So it's still a little bit aerated underneath the riffle. That just helps maintain a constant state of agitation.
We were really fortunate this day. We had a lot of friends and loyal customers and people we work with come out with. We even had Brad Jones from the GPA. He came out and he helped assemble it and helped shovel the machine. So we all lended a hand working on the machine. It was actually a lot of fun. But the important thing, once we took the machine, or took the concentrates back to my brother's house, he panned everything out, and we did find quite a bit of fine gold. Not a lot of big stuff, but a lot of fine gold, and a good mix of gold and black sand. Stuff that's very typical of this particular area. So the whole trip was very successful. You might notice the one guy here, Barry, in the blue t-shirt. Well, he's not human. He can do this all day long. I don't care if it's 110 degrees out. The guy's an animal. He's a good guy to have on your team, trust me. But we have a couple more tests we have to do to get the machine completed. But we're getting a little closer every time, and I would presume maybe in about a month or so we should have it ready for another test, and maybe even have it ready for sale in maybe the next 2 to 6 months, somewhere in that category. But anyways, we're all excited here, and this is really working out good. The conveyor, the dry washer, everything worked very, very well. A little more fine tuning, we should have this thing up on the market. All right, thanks for your time.